Hello and welcome to another episode of In Conversation with Colton. This week I'm with the lovely Mikey, a.k.a. INTI. Got that correct. Very good off me. We are in Heaton Park instead of Sheffield's Botanical Gardens because you are a local man, can't you?
Sure am, yeah.
Yeah, of course he is. So I've asked all my guests this so far on In Conversation with Colton. What have you been up to in lockdown? Not just musically, but in like general.
Literally, all I've been doing is making music, writing, recording, and basically laying back, doing not much really because there's nothing to do.
No, there isn't. That's very true. Let's dig into your history a little bit then. So you used to drum for Bipolar Sunshine,
Yeah.
But of course we're moving away from that now. You're an individual artist, which is what you'll be recognised for. But what was it like drumming for Bipolar Sunshine? Was that like the way that it sort of started for you, like this is what I want to do, or have you always wanted to be involved with music?
Well, yeah, more or less since I was about, 12, 13, just jamming with my mates at high school.
Yeah.
And then, just going to see local bands, building it up. And then I probably think it was around 15, 16, and I went to see The Strokes.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, this is definitely what I want to do. And then from that, I was just in local bands playing as a drummer. And then, basically just, I knew Adeo, the guy, Bipolar Sunshine, from the music scene in Manchester. And once he was starting his project, he said, I need a drummer for live. And I was like, yeah, I'm on board. So that's how it started. And then it just exploded for him quite quickly, really.
Yeah.
It was just a fair few years of fun on the road.
Yeah, I bet. Can you tell me any cheeky stories?
Not really that many. I think one of the most surreal experiences of when we played South by Southwest in America, and we'd finished for the evening one night, and we were driving back to the hotel, and we had this guy with us who was like a cameraman, and he was like, yeah, just if you cut through this car park, you'd be able to get onto the highway. Right. So then we ended up going through this car park, and there was like a full gangland fight going on, and that was a bit surreal. What? It was only about 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. Do you know what I mean?
A bit early to be starting things like that off, isn't it?
That was like one of the most surreal ones.
Yeah.
Apart from that, just lots of
fun,
and
PG
scary
fun.
turbulence.
Yeah, I bet. So you said to me when we first spoke that you took a sabbatical in France, and I'd never heard that word before. I had to get on the Googles to check out what it was. But so basically, it's when your employer allows you time off.
Well, it is, yeah, because I always basically, once that last tour come to the end, we did a UK tour, which finished at the Ritz in Manchester, and then there was big break, so, and I just decided, you know what, like, I've always fancied living abroad, and one of my best mates lives over there still. So I remember being at my brother's wedding, and he said to me, I've got a space at mine if you want, and I was like, that's an absolute no-brainer.
Like, yeah, man.
So I literally packed all my studio up, like all my instruments and recording gear, freighted it over to Lyon, and then I stayed there then and just basically learned how to properly record. Yeah,
because you also play 10 instruments.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't one-up that, unfortunately. So how do you teach yourself to learn how to play 10 instruments? That must be like a lot of spare time, no offence.
Yeah, well, I didn't spend a lot of time in parks, not like this now, but like as a kid,
as a teenager, you're being productive, not drinking cider at 15 is what you're saying.
That and learning from an early age. I think it kind of, I always say, like, if you can play piano, you can pretty much play a lot of instruments, you know what I mean, because you can transfer it. And I'm not by any means an accomplished pianist, but once you learn the basics, I've kind of like started to use instruments for myself.
Yeah.
So it's like, I won't, you'll see a lot of classically trained musicians and stuff, and they will, be able to whack out a lot of unbelievable symphonies and whatnot, and pieces on these instruments. But like, I don't approach it like that. I kind of think, all right, I like the sound this makes, so I'm going to kind of see what I can actually do with it and apply what I do.
Proper artist though, that. So your track, Look at You Now, you released it on July 17th, that is correct? Yeah, thank you very much. So talk to me about that track. You don't have to sort of dissect it and analyse it for me and give me the meaning of each lyric, but how did you come up with that track? What were the inspirations for it? Has it been in the woodwork for a while and you brought it out now?
Well, I remember when a lot of the foundations for these tracks were wrote in France. So, and I remember doing the intro. The first things that come in that song was the synth at the start, and then the high synth as well. And I remember coming home from a night out, and in Lyon, there's not a lot of band nights. You can't go to a lot of gigs. They're very sort of techno house, and I remember coming home one night, a bit fired up, and I used to always leave everything not turned on to waste electricity, but really easy to kind of,
in case you needed to access it when something came to you on a night out.
And that's what, and they call, and it come from France, because one of my friends was saying to me, they call it mise en place, which means like to have everything kind of at hand. So it's like it comes from like culinary and kitchens, but so it's like you have literally every bit of recording gear, so you don't have to go, I've got to go and turn something on. So and then I remember just doing that. So then I kind of gestate a lot of the music quite a bit. I
like these words that you're using. What about your song Echo Chamber as well? Because obviously that came out this year, but before that, what's the message there?
Right, well, that one.
It's like a synth genre.
Yeah,
I've decided it is.
With a bit of the kind of early 90s, late 80s piano house.
I thought it sounded a bit like, I don't know if you like them, but a bit Pet Shop Boys in a sense, like some of the stuff they've had before. I was like, this sounds like Pet Shop. Not this sounds like, but the style of music was like that. Yeah. So were they an influence for you, or?
They were, and I remember again that song was. I'd been listening to a lot of Tom York actually, like the Eraser album before I wrote that song, and then again the lyrics came later, and that was after. I think it was. I'd say it was when Brexit happened. I wrote the lyrics to that because I remember a lot of my friends. I flew back from France and voted, so kind of, and then when I went back, there was like I could see this uproar in a lot of people who I knew that had what's happened, because they're not not a lot of people kind of expected it, but it's. I like to see both sides of things in everything I do, and especially in arguments for and against things. And, that kind of shocked a lot of people because obviously when you're online, you follow what you like, you listen to what you like, you see what you like. Yeah. So you were essentially living in an echo chamber.
He's good, isn't he? He's good, isn't he? Looking at every camera here, he's very good.
So do you know what I mean? Like you kind of, you don't see that side of it, so when it actually goes their way, there's just uproar because you can't really kind of think, I didn't realise that kind of thing. So it's like, can you see the danger actually in your echo chamber? Because I think the danger of doing that, in living in your own echo chamber, is that you don't see it, and B, you do live in a kind of bubble because you can't see what's going on. Yeah. So it's kind of like a wake up type thing.
I feel woke now that we've spoke.
The proverbial salmon across the face.
Oh my gosh, you're the only person I spoke to who's like properly dissects it in sort of like I suppose it is like an academic way, like in a poetic way. Yeah, but because I'm sorry I'm talking over you, but I've got to get this out because you've obviously been busy this year. You've sent out 2 EPs, but has coronavirus stopped you from doing things this year that were planned, or is it sort of just giving you time to like regroup?
In a way, it has stopped a few things because, like, I picked this year to a certain extent to launch everything, and I kind of have to accept at the moment we can't play live. Yeah. So, like, I've been rehearsing with the band for, I don't know, since before Christmas last year. It's on and off type thing. It's like a slow build. So that's been put on hold. Yes. So at the moment, we're trying to like think of ways to kind of live stream or maybe do a few videos of to see that there actually is a band, do you know what I mean, that play this stuff live, because I'm not going to stand on stage like with drum kit on my back.
No, of course. I mean, that would be cool though, but that's sort of coming on to what I've got written here though, because I do research people before, you see. So how would you visualise either Look at You Now or Echo Chamber? Like, have you got ideas for the music video?
Well, I've done, there's a video for Echo Chamber already, but with Look at You Now, that's in the process because, like I say, it's like I'm giving away secrets here, but it's
an exclusive.
But it's like, you've got, at the moment, like I remember chatting to my mate in Los Angeles, and I was like, "What's the crack? What's the word on the street over there?" Because you know what we're supposed to be doing now if now we can't play live, because it's your bread and butter really.
Yeah.
And you just like basically become content farms.
Yeah.
You know, so you gotta kind of like, and I'm awful at doing it, but it's like, you know, I'd rather be writing stuff than doing the other side of things, but I'm still working on that equilibrium, like between the two. But it's kind of, I don't know, it's the Look At You Now video will be coming out, but as I say, it's better for me now to be releasing songs and then releasing videos in a couple of months' time, because it's, you know, it's staggering things.
Of course,
you know.
you need to keep the suspension up.
Yeah, well, and it's like there's another, you know, I'm just going to keep releasing singles as well. There's I've got loads of songs that I'm just going to keep, as I say, just releasing them one after the other. You know, there's a view for an album, but as I say, by the time I've probably released 10 songs, I might as well just put them on and release it as an album
definitely.
anyway. And you just shake it with ice. And
Like, how do you do that again?
well, I'm doing it like that because a lot of on the streets in Brazil they just drink it in like a 2-litre Coke bottle and swilling it round, you know, because it mixes it all up.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, you kind of have it with crushed ice. It's really refreshing, and you think that you're not pissed when you have them. But you
definitely are.
Yeah, after about 3, I'm usually like 3 or 4, and then when I stand up, I'm like, whoop.
So that's one for me then. Brilliant. Favourite body part? This
my
is
most
an appeal to your fans.
most precious are my hands.
Oh, why is that?
Because if I didn't have my hands, I could be like using my tongue to like record. And
okay. Favourite food?
That's a hard one. I do like my food. I'd say maybe it's got to be proper Italian pizza.
Like with proper
proper Italian, like Neapolitan sourdough pizza, or a lot of pasta, of pasta dishes or curry. Just an
Italian stallion over here. Favourite artist or band out there right now?
Right now? I usually like keeping my ear to the ground on this, but it's kind of, who have I been listening to? I really like the new Rolling Blackouts Coastal Fevers album. Have you ever heard of them before?
I haven't, no, but
they're from Australia, but them, and you know, I quite enjoyed the new Tame Impala album as well.
Yes. Okay, this is quick fast, so I'm going to continue. Favourite animal?
Wolf.
Ooh, spicy. Okay. Favourite song of yours?
Of mine?
Yeah. And you have to give me a definitive answer.
Like, of my own songs?
Of your own, like, original.
I've got one coming out in maybe September or October called Lost and Found.
Exclusive.
I think I think it's kind of a song for a lot of people. It's easily accessible.
Now everyone's going to anticipate that. This question's going to be really hard for you now, so like I feel for you. Which is best, pasta or pizza? I can't imagine how tense you're feeling right now.
I might have some pizza tonight, so
we'll go with pizza. Oh wait, Corona or Heineken? Quick fire.
Corona.
Okay, thank you. Frappuccino or black coffee?
Black coffee.
You don't want to be a Frappuccino queen?
Nah.
That's not your image, obviously. Mackey's or KFC?
KFC.
Miller.
I don't eat any of them, but KFC.
Do you not? Okay. Miller and Carter or Weatherspoons?
I'm not going with Weatherspoons because that guy's a great
He
day.
is.
See you next Tuesday.
Definitely.
So not him. So the other
I mean,
one.
I meant to be impartial somewhat, but I agree with you. If you could either only sing or only play instruments, what would it be?
Only play instruments.
Because then you can play your synths and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I suppose you could, if you lost your voice, at least you could still play instruments.
That's true, actually. Do you know what? I've had a very, very fun conversation with you. I feel like we've run over, but that's absolutely fine. I just want to say one last thing. So I want you, and I have to ask all my guests this, so try and pull it out the bag for me here. What's your most embarrassing story?
Oh, flipping heck.
I bet there's a few.
Yeah, there's a fair few embarrassing ones.
Yeah, go on then. It can, as long as it's not overtly, you know.
I remember once, a public one.
Yeah.
Was it? I forget which festival it was at, but coming off stage, really buzzing, and just going right on my arse, like, you know, like the ramps going onto the backstage.
God.
But there was loads of people, like, you know.
Yeah,
but I was like, you know, I mean, I don't really get embarrassed about things, but it was quite, you know, there's quite a few bands around, and I thought, oh my God, that's like the most
That's
ultimate.
your image in absolute tatters.
Yeah, I literally was like a. Right.
Okay, tell everybody where they can find your music.
You can find it on my Instagram. There's a link there. Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music, Apple Music. But there's a hyperlink on my Instagram page, and on there you can find everything you want. It's quite an easy kind of you know, landing page type thing.
Yeah, so you'd be really stupid if you didn't know how to navigate your way around that. All right, thank you so much for speaking to me.
No
Have a
worries, thanks very
fantastic
much.
rest of your day.
Cheers.